Today is March 12th, 2021, and it is what would be Jack Kerouac's 99th birthday.
Kerouac inspired me to write haiku. Those who never yawn or say a commonplace thing, but burn, burn, burn.
Legend has it that he haunts this bookstore. A bar that he used to go to, it's called the Flamingo Bar.
He'd come down here about once or twice a week. This is the way the bar looked like when I got it. And then when he passed away, I just left it like it was.
I was in Barnes & Noble one day, kind of recently, browsing books, and I came across this book. It's filled with all these things about Tampa Bay, all these interesting facts and places to go and interesting things you might not otherwise have known. And I thought since I recently moved here that I would get to know the area and learn interesting things. And one thing that really caught my eye is this one page called Visions of Kerouac. And I learned something new. I didn't know that Jack Kerouac actually lived in St. Petersburg for his final years of his life. He had a house. He would sit in a cot in his backyard and look at the stars, and during the day he would write, and he would roam the aisles of this local bookstore, and he would take his book, if it was on the shelf in the back, he would take a stack of books of his to the front and put it on display so it would have more prominence. There's a local bar that he would go to that's still there. Jack Kerouac has just been on my mind lately, and I'm like, I need to go to this bar. I need to see where he lived and spent his final years. And I was doing a little bit more research on Jack Kerouac, and I was going through Instagram, and I came across this account called Friends of Jack Kerouac. I saw that tonight, actually, they're having a Kerouac night. It's going to be poetry and live music and raffle prizes. It seems like it's just going to be a fun, artistic, creatively inspiring evening. I came out to the neighborhood to find the house where Jack Kerouac lived at in his final years, and it's supposed to be on this strip of houses. I find it so fascinating to see where very prominent authors, artists, musicians, like whoever it is, wherever they lived. It just makes me imagine what were they thinking, when they were like strolling through these neighborhood streets, and when he would go in his backyard at night to look at the stars. And it's so fascinating to me to feel this connection to these people, to see where it is that they lived, because think of all the thoughts that you have where you live and the work that you produce and the things you go through. It actually sold, it's going to become a writer's retreat. So there's a couple who bought it and they want to preserve his legacy in the house. So they didn't just buy it to move in, but they're actually going to do something with it. So I think they're in the process of either preserving or restoring. Oh, so that's it. I'm reading more about what brought him here, and his mother wasn't doing so well, and his wife dragged him here. He came here under protest, calling the city the town of the newlywed and the living dead. That is actually really funny because I came to Florida for kind of the same reason. I did not want to move to Florida. I mean, if you've been watching my videos, you kind of know the story of I lost my job in New York and ended up here because my family's here, and it just wasn't really my ideal living situation. I never wanted to live in Florida, never saw myself living here, but now I'm here. I actually love it, and I'm really happy with the decision to live here. Stop number 2 on today's Jack Kerouac journey is going to be the bookstore that he used to frequent. Legend has it that he haunts this bookstore, and someone who worked at the bookstore says one night he was cleaning up and one of Jack Kerouac's books smacked down, and it was near midnight, there was no one else around, and he looked and he saw Jack Kerouac's on the road on the ground. Haslam's is the largest new and used bookstore in Florida. Wow, it houses more than 300,000 books at any given time. This is so cool. It's named one of the top 25 independent bookstores in the United States. It says temporarily closed online, but I'm just gonna walk around the area and check it out anyway from the outside.
In my own way.
Stop number 3 on today's Jack Kerouac journey is the bar that he used to go to. It's called the Flamingo Bar, and it's still here and it's open, and you can get a Jack Kerouac special I just saw.
This is the way the bar looked like when I got it. And then when he passed away, I just left it like it was.
Do you remember your conversations with him? Or
We had many conversations.
Wow.
I did a lot of partying with him before I got the bar. Then when I got the bar, he started coming up here. These are different articles where he used to come and where he might have had his last drink. These are just actual signatures that my friend Ronnie introduced me to him. Ronnie had a lot of books and things signed from him and everything, but I really didn't know he was that important, when I first met him. He told me he was a writer, but it went in one ear and out the other. And he just wanted, I was 23, he was 46. He just wanted to party, and have a good time. He kept a low profile.
Hey, Dale.
Hey, Ron. There's this picture there. If you come out here, look what it does. When you walk by now, his eyes will follow you when you walk all the way down the street. See, his eyes will keep following you, watching you.
wow.
And you got to take a picture of that.
What is that?
When we used to party on his back porch, his mother and his wife were living there. He used to sit on the back porch, and my friend used to hit the bongos, and he'd be rapping some stuff off. And we just had a good time, drinking a lot of wine, smoking a lot of pot. But that was a part of the tree that we used to have to go and relieve ourselves on, and it finally died. And the tree trimmer brought it to me. So.
Oh my gosh. So that's a piece of the tree.
I used to have it sitting right under his picture so people could sit on it, but termites got in the bottom of it. So
oh no.
When I first got the bar, I didn't have this deck. I just had some benches there, and he'd always be sitting on the bench. I used to open up at early 8 in the morning. And he'd come down here about once or twice a week, and he probably walked because he never drove.
Oh, he walked? That's kind of a far walk.
52nd, that's way out near his house.
Are you doing a documentary on Kerouac? I don't know what it says, but it's the whole verse and it's him. Isn't that a hell of a tattoo?
Wow. Oh.
I can't believe Dale didn't show you that.
Wow. So someone got
she comes in about once a year. So I think she's from Canada or upstate New York. And there's bikers that come in all the time. They do a Jack Kerouac tour. And they come in and they have a beer and then they go to the next bar they used to hang out at.
Faded down, I'm faded. Last night it came and stayed around and waited.
Kerouac inspired me to write haiku, but I didn't. He inspired me, but I didn't write it though. Then I worked with the homeless down in Miami, and after that changed me. And then I wrote a book of haiku.
You must become. Push through the mud in your life.
I don't like how rigid people can be with their art. It's a thing people do. They don't want you to talk about it unless it's good.
The only ones for me are those mad to live, desirous of everything at the same time, those who never yawn or say a commonplace thing, but burn, burn, burn like fabulous yellow Roman candles exploding like spiders across the stars. You can get that on a t-shirt, right in there, along with 2 other designs. We have a Cities t-shirt that kind of highlights some different places that he lived.
Drunkenly dances in the glow of my kitchen table, not entirely stable. So she takes cover under the roofs of artists and writers, and now we don't feel so alone.
They delight in the mystery, so they keep mixing and testing until they find what works for them. Because the best kind of love keeps dancing like the spheres do.
Earlier in the day, he'd perched atop a flagpole in a parking lot on the waterfront and looked around to see which way Borough Hall, which way the little white doves. Jack Kerouac, The Sea Shroud.
that's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and hit the bell icon to be notified of new videos every time I post. I plan on doing more videos like this where I explore local spots and find creative inspiration in the local area, so be sure to subscribe if you enjoy that type of content. And don't forget to like this video if you liked it, or dislike if you didn't like it, that's fine too. And yeah, I had so much fun. I loved going to the bar, talking to people. There was a man that I spoke to who was older, and he's like, when I was 18 years old, I remember Jack Kerouac bought us a round of drinks. And it was so interesting to just hear from people who were friends with him and hung out with him, and hearing about what he was like. I also really enjoyed the live poetry event. I got this t-shirt. I love this shirt. It says live, travel, adventure, bless, and don't be sorry. And it's a design of a typewriter with the roads heading in all the directions. And I love that. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.